Hello everyone, my name is Shahan Hassan and on today's video I'm gonna be telling you guys how to solve SAT command of evidence quantitative questions. So let's get straight ahead into the video. First of all, what are these questions? It might be sounding very complex, but believe me, it is one of the simplest questions on the SAT reading and writing section. So let's answer the some questions, and let's first of all understand what these questions are. Just as I said, no need to be scared, no need to be afraid. These are the simplest type of questions. On the reading and writing section of the SAT, we can see a graph or a table that is given to us. When we see a graph, when we go on to the next question and we see a graph and table, we should say this is SAT command of evidence quantitative questions. It is basically from the domain information and ideas. Some information are given or some ideas are given, and we should complete the text or according to the graph that is given to us. The questions will offer some context for information, and then it will ask us to complete a sentence by using the data from the graph or the table. How should we think about quantitative evidence questions? We should use the ARC method, which is analyze, read, and then evaluating the choices. Understanding the argument is key, which is analyzing. We should look at the graph and then look at the context to see what the argument is about. Reading the data, we should read the graph, what is given to us, and we should evaluate the choices. So we should find the best evidence from the choices to give the right answer. So let's continue. Top tips are to use our finger/cursor on our device to not mistake what's given and what will be answered. Ignoring the data that are not important. Extra tips: we should ditch the details. There are so many details on the SAT to just make us think that the question is very complex, and to make us not be able to answer the right option. But we should ditch all the details and we should specifically focus on the last option at all costs. So let's start. As the first sorry. Don't get hung up on unfamiliar words, and we should use the process of elimination, and we should guess the answer instantly. So let's get started. Question level 1. We have 6 questions from level 1, and I'm going to be solving the first question, and then I will give you guys each 1 minute to solve each question. So let's start. 1 minute starts right now. Guys, 20 seconds left on the timer, and be fast. Yes, guys, the timer is done. If you guys still have not completed the question, you can either listen to me explain you the question in under 1 minute, and here I start. Okay, guys, so we can see that on this question we are given the data. We should look at the data very fast. So a graph, a table is given to us, four options: day, meal, and food item. Sample of food items from Gemini mission menus. Okay, so as I said, we're going to be reading the last sentence. Looking at the sample from food items from these menus, a student notes that on day one the menu included sugar cookie cubes for meal B. How did I understand this? We look at days and we see day one, sugar cookie cubes, meal B. Okay? This is the correct option. We can also have, by the way, guys, I have more than 1 minute, like less than 1 minute left. I still have 4 seconds left. We know that. Okay, the timer ended. I solved the question. We know that these are all wrong. Option A is wrong because shrimp cocktail, it's not on day one, first of all, and second of all, it is not meal B, it's meal C. And then hot cocoa is not option day one, and it is also not meal C. And chicken and vegetables is not meal A, and it is also not on day one. So even if we skip the detail of day one, we could still answer this question correct. Okay, guys, now I am giving you guys 1 minute to solve this question. Okay, guys, 1 minute starts right now. Just do your best and gonna be answering the question. Okay, guys, 1 minute is over. Let's continue. So right now I'm gonna be putting a timer for myself of 1 minute. Let's put a timer. 3, 2, 1, start. So this question, we're going to be reading the last sentence just like every other question. We can see that from the table, the student finds that El Castillo was built 1100 to 1400 years ago, and we have to complete the sentence according to the table. To complete the sentence, we see that the only thing not given here is the country and height. We check the options over here to see if it's asking for the country or for the height. It's actually asking for the height. So we see that or any other option we can see, we can make ourselves ready for both for the question to ask both. We can say that and is 40 meters tall in the country Belize. So we check the options. 40 meters tall, which one is 40 meters tall? Question C. And right over here, the timer ended, 1 minute ended. So let's continue with the next question. Okay, guys, so this question I'm gonna be solving it by myself, and if you guys also want to test it out, you guys can pause the video. So first of all, let's continue. The last sentence, I'm gonna be trying to solve it right now. Okay. For example, only 14.22% of games are still available that were initially released in. We know that it's asking for the date. We just like looked at the graph very fast when the question comes on the screen. So yeah, we see that there's years and the percent of game available. We look at the one with the percentage 14.22. 14.22 is 1995 and 1999, from the year 1995 to 1999. So we choose the answer choice B. We can also look at the others, but for choice A, it's certainly wrong because on the table there is no such option as 2000 to 2004. It starts from 1995 to 1999. So it starts from 1975 to 1999, 1970 to 1974. Again, there's no such options over here. For option D, the question is 1985 to 1989, which we see that it's 15.38%, not 14.22 as given on the graph. So basically, by looking at it, we can completely get rid of C and A at the very start of like thinking of the question. So let's continue. This is another question, and this time I'm gonna be giving you guys 1 minute 0 seconds, just because it's very similar to the last question. Let's start. Okay, guys, 1 minute ended. Let's continue. For this question, I'm also gonna challenge myself once again and give myself 1 minute to answer this question. Okay, guys, it's said that, okay, in a study by botanist for dolphins, we said don't look at the question, we don't look at the vocabulary. We said over here, don't get hung up on unfamiliar words. So that's exactly what I'm using on this question. We don't know what botanist dolphins is, but we don't get hung up on it. Okay, biologist Leila Saya and a team of researchers analyzed a recording of female dolphins interacting with their calves. Okay, according to the day, there's no question here. In which year was dolphin with IDFB 43 recorded with her calf? The ID of the dolphin is given. We just check it. FB 43 1992 is the recording year. This is very simple. We just choose option D, 1992. We cancel option A because, okay guys, my timer ended. I actually solved it before the 1 minute. Okay. But 1999 is cancelled just because there's no 1999 on the graph on the table here. 2012 is for ID FB07, so it's not FB43, so we cancel option B also. 2020, there's no 2020 on the recording here, so we cancel this also. Let's get on to the next question. Okay guys, for this question it might be kinda tricky, so I'm gonna be solving this question all by myself. And yeah, let's continue. It says that the team's findings suggest that the two theropods, the one that left La Torre 6B tracks, had a higher maximum mean speed. So mean speed is already given that this one 6B had a higher maximum speed. We look at the comparison of these two. So we compare these two, 32.8 and 28.9. 28.9 is shorter, the length of the footprint is shorter than 6A, so we put shorter. So the first part, it's about the footprint, and the other one is the average, right? So the first part of the option, the anonymous option that we're going to be choosing, should be negative, and then the second part should be positive because the length in meters is higher than the second one, so negative and positive. So a longer foot, so this is not positive, it's negative. It's not negative, it's positive, and this is also not negative, it's positive, and this one is correct. This one is negative, and choice D is also negative on the first part. So we said the second part should be positive. Second part positive is option choice C. This is how we answer this question pretty quickly. Let's answer this question, which is the last question on section easy. So I'm gonna be giving you guys exactly 1 minute starting right now. $20 on the go. Hurry up. Three, two, one. Okay, 1 minute ended. So let's tell you the answer. Choice A for this question is the correct answer. Okay, so let's see why it is choice A. So on here, the claim says that when winter winds are stronger than forecasted wind turbines can generate more energy than what is predicted. So the graph shows that the additional amount that the turbines generated under these conditions, with the west generating 150,000 MWH, which is megawatts per hour, which I got it from here. It gives us the meaning of it. Okay, so we can see that A is the correct answer, which says strong enough to generate 150,000 more megawatts of electricity than from wind turbines. And choice B is incorrect because it does not complete the example. The graph shows the amount of electricity that the wind turbines generated. The west part is greater than 0, generated more than predicted amount. Choice C is also incorrect because it does not complete the example. The graph shows that the additional amount of electricity that the wind turbines generated. The west bar is greater than 0, so the west generated more than predicted amount. Choice D is incorrect. It misreads the graph. If we choose choice D, then that means we misread the graph, because neither Midwest neither West says that it is directly on 175. So 150 is the line. We can also draw a line like this, or just like I said before, play with our cursor and just do like this, or use our finger to do like that. So guys, let's continue on question level 2. Okay everyone, let's continue with level 2, which is the medium questions. So this level is slightly harder than the other level. So let's continue. For this question, we're going to be analyzing the graph, as just I said, and looking at what is given to us: area, the years, and characteristic of banks of Poro River downstream of the Jordan Lake Dam over the years 1987, 1993, and 2006. So, grass cover, bare soil, and forest cover. Grass cover, bare soil, and forest cover is that. Okay. They concluded that the dam changed the flow of the river in ways that benefited the grass plants but didn't benefit the trees. So it basically concludes that the dam led to changes that benefited the grass plants but not the trees. It says benefited the grass plants but did not benefit the trees. So we have to look at the choices to see which one was grass. It was this color and the grass cover. Okay, so it benefited here but not here. Okay. The graph shows the characteristics of the banks of the river downstream of the dam in 3 different years, just as I said. And the graph shows that the amount of grass cover, the text indicates that the dam was built in 1992. Over here it says that it was created in 1992. And it also says that the grass cover increased from 1987 to 1993, and again from 1993 to 2006. We can see that this increased while the forest cover did not. The forest cover decreased over the years, as well as the bare soil. The bare soil actually kind of played. It decreased in 1993 and then increased in 2006. So to conclude, the data supports that the colleagues and Martinez conclusion that the dam is beneficial for grass plants but not for the trees increased significantly after this period. So looking at the choices, to just say what I said, the lowest amount of grass cover was approximately 5,800 square meters. The highest amount of forest cover was... No, this does not say what we want. Like, the lowest value of grass cover is approximately 5,800 square meters, and the highest is approximately 7,500 meters from 1987 and 1992. Therefore, the information cannot support because of the years. Okay, and there was more grass cover than forest cover in 1987. The choice B is incorrect because it presents an inaccurate description of the data from the graph. It shows that there was no more forest cover than grass cover in 1987, not that there was more grass cover, the forest cover that year. Choice C is incorrect because it accurately reflects data from the graph. It compares the grass cover and forest cover to bare soil. So basically, the right answer is D because what I said has the most meaning with D. It's like basically the same thing as I said. Grass cover increased from 1987 to 1993 and 1993 to 2006, whereas forest cover decreased in these periods. So let's get on to the next question. This was kind of tricky, and let's see the next question. Okay, so when we see these graphs, we can see that it's kind of like a comparison between the two to see if the values are equal to each other, lesser than each other, or more than each other. Okay, this value and this value, this and this, to see if they are completely opposite of each other, not correct, if they are greater or lesser than each other. So I'm gonna give you guys exactly 1 minute here, starting now. Ten seconds left. One, and the timer ended, guys. Now I will be solving the question. In this question, just as I said a while ago, it says that we basically have to compare when we see this type of table. Okay? So Cannon found that the area of land covered by the two species had significantly expanded during the 9-year period. There's a 9-year period in between this, okay, from 2009 to 2018. While both species likely benefited from warming temperatures, okay, percent in area covered, okay. Warming temperatures, Colobanthus quintus is on the other hand. Okay guys, we can see that areas covered in 2009 is lesser than the Antarctica. The Colobanthus and this this ma this Campsia. The areas covered in 2018 in square meters is 10.7 and the other one is 1.57 or 576, and the percent of increase is 55% and 28%. So it increased more over here, a highest increasing percentage, and the answer choice for this is choice B. Choice B is the best answer because it shows that the data from the table completes the comparison of how Columbathus quintus benefited from warming temperatures with how this one the sorry for the wrong pronunciation everything in here since it's scientific kinda it's hard. This Campsia, the Scampsia, Antarctica, benefited from them. Area covered by these two plant species at a site in Antarctica, and according to the table, quantities increased the area of it covered by 55% than of the other one. So it basically covered. Therefore, follows that it was a greater expansion than the Descampsia, and that the consequences increased the area of the land covered by more than half of it. Because 28% can be, yeah, it's near to 30% is 155. So when we see the answer choices, since they're covered by more than half, we can directly choose answer choice B. Let's continue. Okay, guys, 1 minute will start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, everyone, 1 minute starts now. Okay, guys, the time is over. So now I will be explaining the question. Yes, let's explain this question ASAP. The claim in this question, let's zoom it in. Okay. The claim in this question is that some concentrations of H2S hydrogen sulfide is led to increased germination growth. Okay, it's germination growth. So choice B accurately shows the seeds treated with 10 micromoles per liter, as said here, that only 10 option 10 said 10 had are tended to germinate faster than untreated seeds, and it was kinda easier than others at 48 hours. Just what the thing says, at 48 hours 30 more than 70% of seeds treated with hydrogen sulfide at a concentration of 10 micromoles per liter. So micromoles per liter is this one, more than 70%. Yep. Had germinated. More than 90% of those seeds had germinated at 168 hours, and the others are germinated under more than 168 hours. So this is the answer. We can move on to next question. So percentages of maize exported by 3 countries for marketing. Once again, I will let you guys read this, and you guys can also read the whole text for this one. It's just a tip. So 1 minute will start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck. Okay, guys, the timer is done, and for this question, as you guys can might have solved it that way, the first of all, the answer choice is C. C is the correct answer choice. So what makes C the answer choice? This last sentence of the context of the information is that a student is researching those percentages and finds that for the marketing year 2012-2013, the percentage of maize exported by blank. The country is not given. So for this question, we have to go and find which of the followings is correct. Okay? So, Brazil increased from the previous marketing year but remained lower than the percentage exported by the United States. Let's check it. In 2012, 2013, which will be this area. Okay, Brazil is the square one. Increased from previous marketing year? Nope, it did not increase. In fact, it went from 30 something to 30, which was not on the line before, and now it is on the line, as we can see it. Okay, so let's see the other one. So it's not this. B. Brazil exceeded the percentage exported by Argentina for the first time. Argentina is the triangle one, and we can see that no one ever exceeded Argentina, and Argentina is always at first place. So we can put an automatic no to the answer, to choice B. Argentina decreased from the previous marketing year but remained highest among the three countries. Just like I said, Argentina never decreased from others, never came in with the same rate as others. It stayed the same. So it stayed the highest. So it's the last, this part is correct. And for the other one, it says Argentina decreased from the previous year. Previous year, yep, it decreased. There's a sharp decrease over here, but then it still does not come down. So this choice is correct. For choice D, United States reached its highest point during the 5 marketing years. Okay, for this one, we're gonna look at United States and try to find the highest point. The United States, the highest point is either this or that. So I think it's this. Yep, the United States is 2010, 2011. 1, 2, 3. No. Okay, it did not reach its high point in the 5 marketing years. Nope, so answer choice D is incorrect. Sorry, guys. Okay, answer choice C is the correct answer. If you guys did answer choice C, well, good job, and you guys are ready for the hard section. So let's go to the next question. Okay, and I will give you guys once again 1 minute. Ready, set, go. Okay, guys, the timer ended, So let's go back to the question. Just as I said. Okay. So on the question, for this question, just as I said before, guys, for this type of tables, try to make the comparison. But this one is kind of for the tables, try to make the comparison between the numbers. But this time we can see for sure that it is for the surface area, it's increasing downwards. And yeah, for this one it's different, but like it's hard to find a comparison of all under a minute and also look at the claims when the table is this big, so we won't compare. Okay, let's just analyze it. Build warmth and coldest warmth, maximum temperature, minimum temperature, area, 1 2 3 4 5 places, or a Cosmo, Brown, Red Acer, long build, calculated. Okay, so now we read the claim for this type. Let's please read most of the parts. So to evaluate this hypothesis, for a 2021 study, Charlotte, Probst, and Klux gathered data on mean bill surface area of species of North American thrashers, as well as on climate conditions of the birds' native habitats. Based on their data, Probst and colleagues concluded that the hypothesis was not fully supported. Data table to support Probst and colleagues' conclusions. Although the Benedier thrasher has one of the smallest Benedier thrasher, smallest surface areas of the birds included in the table. Okay, we can directly cancel choice A because Benedier thrasher does not have the smallest surface area. Surface area is the smallest for brown thrasher, so one of the smallest. Okay, so but still, its habitat has one of the lowest mean maximum temperature. No, this is wrong because it has one of the biggest maximum temperature, so we cancel out this question, this choice. Although the Cosmos thrasher, okay, has the second greatest mean bill surface area, second greatest, yep, it has. Include its habitat's mean temperature in the warmest month is higher than of other. Well, guys, no, it's not warmer than the other months. It's actually lower than the other months. It's only warmer than alkylated. So choice B is also incorrect. Choice C is of birds including the table. The brown thrasher has the smallest mean bill surface. Brown thrasher, yep, smallest mean surface, but it states that the long-billed thrasher over here, well, long-billed thrasher is the second largest. Well, the second largest is not it's the third largest mean bill surface area of the species included. Instead of revealing a lack of support for the hypothesis, the mean bill surface area and the habitat, so there's another problem here, increases with habitat temperature. Okay, the mean bill surface area increases with habitat temperature. Therefore, we have cancelled all of these choices and we're sure that it's none of these choices. So why don't we just pick choice number D? So that's the reason we pick choice D. Okay, guys, choice D is chosen here, when the time is less, when you're sure that three choices are not it, then you can directly go to choice D. That's what I did, because I spent a lot of time by myself to help and like find the right answer. That's the right answer. That's what I did, and that's what I'm always doing. If I see the that I've spent a lot of time on that question, and I know that A, B, and C, or A, C, and D are all wrong, but only B, there's a possibility. I'm like, no need to read it the second time, just like go with it. Okay? So, this is question number, it's still medium level. There's, okay, question number 6 from medium level. Let's continue. Estimated temperatures to which Evron query artifacts were exposed, and this is the data you guys have 1 minute to solve this question. Ready, steady, go. Started. Sorry guys, I was explaining it with my microphone closed, so let me explain it once again. I'm gonna try to. Okay, so 3, 2, 1. Guys, the 1 minute is over, and let's start explaining this question. I will be giving myself 1 minute straight. So start. So it says that describes the data in the graph that support the team's conclusion with choices. So I'm gonna look at the choices. Start by looking at the choices. So let's go. Okay. Okay. K5 106 and K3 9. This and this are exposed to more than above 400 Celsius. Well, that's completely wrong because they're rarely exposed to 200 Celsius. Artifacts L5 239 and K3 18. Okay, K3 18 were exposed to temperatures approximately 550 and 650 respectively. 550, yep. 650, yep, that is correct. All of the artifacts were exposed to temperatures above 100 Celsius. Let's see it. This choice does seem correct. My timer ended, by the way. Let's see it. But the thing is, it says the answer is wrong for that one because campfires typically reach over 400 Celsius, so exposure to temperatures of 100 Celsius wouldn't demonstrate exposure to fire. As said in the context, that's kind of why the context is important. This has kind of thinking to do. Yeah. D is incorrect. The choice doesn't support the claim because it says that both K39 and K506 were exposed temperatures less than 200. Since campfires typically reach over 400 Celsius, this wouldn't demonstrate exposure to fire. So this was the question. Answer choice B is correct. Reason for C might be a kind of confusing, but it says that colleagues recently used a new method to determine whether these artifacts have been exposed to above 400 Celsius, typically campfire reach, and conclude might have controlled fire. So yeah, that's the reason. That's the only reason why we should kind of, as I said, read the last part of the text that's given. Okay, this is level 3. For this question, let's start explaining. Okay guys, for this question we're gonna look at the question. So it says, which choice best describes the data from the graph that weaken the team's hypothesis? So we should read the answers. So option A, a large majority of manipulated received inquiry about mentioning plans for announcement before the next election didn't respond to the inquiry. No response. So it describes the data from the graph, but it says it needs something that weakens the team's hypothesis. So if we're not very correct with, like, very looking at the question directly, we could like choose A and be like, oh yeah, it's correct, so let's go to the next question. No, something like this does not happen here because I'm telling you guys, we have to read the question. Okay, the proportion of many municipalities that responded to the inquiry of offered incentives didn't substantially differ across the announcement timing conditions. Choice B is actually correct because it says that the lighter, like, we can see that the lighter bars here showed what happened before the election and the darker bar shows what happened when the announcement was to come after the election. All of 3 outcomes and the darker bars show what happened, so they're basically the same, demonstrating that the announcement timing didn't make a difference. So to that, then respond to the inquiry. So, timing conditions differ across the timing conditions. So, choice B is in fact correct. Choice C is correct. Sorry, only around half the municipalities that respond to inquiries about mentioning plans for announcement before the next election offered incentives. It describes some data from the graph but doesn't weaken the hypothesis again. So the same thing with A, it does not weaken the team's hypothesis, so it's wrong and it's wrong. And it doesn't include the announcement after election for comparison, and data is incorrect because it describes some data from the graph, but it doesn't weaken the hypothesis, and it also doesn't include announcement before the election. So it just says what happened after the election. Okay, so yeah, this is basically it, and it's the answer choice is B. So yeah, let's move on. Banana ripening time at a different temperature with and without ethanol treatment. So for this one, a student, okay, what effective is data from the graph to complete the student's conclusion? Let's see. Comparing for bananas with and without ethanol, the student concluded that, okay, 20 Celsius is the ideal temperature at which to store bananas to store bananas to slow ripening time. Let's see, 20 Celsius, no ethanol, ethanol and no ethanol. Let's see, with ethanol it's 4 days, no ethanol it's 5.5 days. So choice A is not correct because that the graph shows ethanol sweetened banana stored at 20 certain ripen more faster. It says in 5.5, so the difference, and the untreated bananas more quickly stored. Okay, so basically this is incorrect, and choice B is those bananas that were not treated with ethanol. Okay, we're looking only at the outer parts. Different temperature not associated with absolute differences in ripening time. This is incorrect because it does. Is it's because the graph does show that in temperature increases, ripening time of untreated bananas decreases from about 11 days at 14 Celsius to about 5.5 days at 20 Celsius, with no exceptions to this. The graph does show that differences in temperature were associated with absolute differences in ripening time. And choice C, bananas treated with ethanol ripen faster than 14 Celsius and 16 Celsius than at 18 and 20. So treated with ethanol, choice C are about 8 to 6 days, which is greater than the other 18 and 20, which and says that bananas treated with ethanol ripen more slowly, not faster than 14 Celsius and 16 Celsius than at 18 and 20 Celsius. So by this, when we are sure that ABC is incorrect, we can say that B is in fact correct. So we chose answer choice B. Sorry, that is looking kind of complex. Let's just come over here and okay, let's skip this. So guys, it says that the Murchison nitrate sample is that this is the graph first of all. So I'm gonna give you guys 1 minute to solve it, and the timer starts now. Okay, timer ended. So right now we're gonna be solving the question. The question says that, okay, which choice best describes the data from the table to support the team's conclusion? We have to check what is correct from the choices. So isogium and purine were detected in both meteorite samples but not in soil sample. So it says sorry guys, I don't know what's happened over here. Okay. Isoguanian and meteorite samples. With isoguanian purine detected samples and both meteorite samples but not in yeah, they are significantly detected in here, but it's not detected in here, so it's correct. Adenine and zathinine, adenine were detected in both meteorite but samples and in soil samples. Adenine and zathinine, it doesn't justify the conclusions because the researchers here said that the meteorite's nucleobases were the result of soil contamination. If the nucleobases are present in both the soil and meteorite, and it's possible that these nucleobases came from the soil, so choice C, hypoxanian and purine, both can make mucus and sample to and in the soil sample. Yeah, it is detected in here, but again, the problem with this one is that it purine actually is not detected in the soil, so yeah, it's not detected in the soil. Okay. Isoguanian and hypoxanian were detected in Merckson's meteorite sample, but not in sample 1, but not in sample 2. So this is incorrect. It is detected in both. So let's move on. We have approximately 3 questions left. Okay. This is one of the hardest questions. I have solved this many times. I'm just gonna give you guys 1 minute. Let's start now. Yes, guys. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time is up, guys. If you guys are still not finished, you guys can stop the video anytime and continue. So this, as I said, is one of the hardest questions. They concluded that REM may not be homostatically regulated in 4 seals, citing as evidence that fact that the seals in the study. So guys, the correct answer choice for this question is answer choice C. The reason for that is because, I won't be able to explain this because it has taken so much time and you guys will also be bored, but I will be leaving the answers for this question down in the comments below. And here is an extra question for you guys to answer. These are 2 extra questions I have put in here to for you guys to answer, so you guys can practice on it by yourself. I'm also going to be putting the answers for these two questions over here. This is going to be called question 1. Sorry, I'm going to be calling this question 2, and I'm going to be calling this one question 3 in the comment sections. So at the end, thank you guys for listening to this video. Thank you guys for watching and supporting me and recording this video. Give a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and comment on the video. What was the pros and cons of this video? If you guys found it useful or not. So this is the end. Bye bye.